how about this for her? Take two. Now, how about this for a not so Merry Christmas and a very Happy New Year? Oh yes, as ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you. Thank you so much for your time today. Lovely to have your company. Hope you're keeping well. You know, normally at this time of year, and you know, I'm not giggling when I say this because it happens to everybody. Normally, have you noticed, it's the time of year that companies decide to dump you, you know? I've had colleagues who've recently been dumped from TV channels without warning, you know, and just wiped away because seemingly they found cheaper options, and yeah, well, they've loved you, but no, bye-de-bye. Even though, of course, you've done sterling work for them for many years on certain channels. You get the picture. Of course, you know, I'm made of sturdier stuff, let me tell you. I do feel sorry for some of these people because they put their life and soul into it and they don't understand that really you are a commodity. Now, what's fascinating, I find, in this world of work that we all now live in, and have you noticed, it's, you know, if you are of me, somebody who's white and middle-aged and of course still working, well, what's the phrase? Pale, male and stale. You see, we're kind of put out to grass. They don't want you, you know, because seemingly, no, there's fresher meat on the counter and they basically want that, particularly if it ticks a woke-aratory box. You see, this woman, right, recently, I told you about this particular story, Amanda Blank, remember her? She works for Aviva Insurance, and I told many people, once this story came out, she's literally wiped so many people off. She's the CEO of Aviva Insurance, and the bottom line is that any sort of white sign-in to the company has to go through her first because she wants to tick box all the exclusivity stuff and the woke-aratory nonsense. Now, Amanda's Welsh and as white as a sheet, but seemingly she's swallowed the woke pill. Now, the reason why I highlight this is, and it's a more serious story actually, is Direct Line Insurance looks like it's now about to be bought up by Aviva Insurance for 3.7 billion. Now, the reason why I highlight this is, can you imagine working for that company, you've given your role and all that sort of stuff, and suddenly you find that this woman is now in charge, and perhaps you are simply fair-haired, white, male, pale and stale. After years at the company, well, you may keep your job, but of course they'll slim that down. And if you don't fit the remit of this particular individual, Amanda, then you could find yourself on your way out. You would have thought in this 2024-2025 period that people might be more lenient. What happened to the fact that you're great at the job and all that sort of stuff? I was recently at the infamous BBC television centre, and it was interesting to note that the girls on the desk were discussing basically an audition for a voiceover for a forthcoming TV series. And they pointed out between themselves why this particular individual, who was white and in his 20s, simply wouldn't get it, because they've decided that they need to tick the woke box. You get the picture. And this is now what many people are genuinely fighting against. Now, for me, as I pointed out the other day, for me, I just sort of think it should be this way. If you're the best and you're the greatest at the job, it shouldn't matter. But, you know, equally, when we had the problem, say, with the Only Fools and Horses musical, the bottom line is, when would you see somebody like me casting the lead role of the hit musical Hamilton? Never. You see how you're being phased out. And if I was working for Direct Line, I'd be very concerned, particularly at this woman now taking the helm. Either way, it's not a good look, is it? I wish genuinely everybody all the best in their working and personal endeavours in 2025. But people like this can actually change lives for the worst. And if you're looking for insurance, I certainly wouldn't be looking towards Amanda, would you? Neil Sean in the very heart of Yorkshire.